Today I'm talking about AI with Grasshopper. I've been using AI with Grasshopper, but mostly with Python components. Every time I needed to create like some logic that it relates to code, I was using AI to help me with that because it's actually much faster than myself coding, and then fixing here and there the components. It worked quite well, right? Not for like very complex tasks, but something specific. It has been working very well. Um, and to give a little bit of context, the other day I had a client who asked me for a specific task. They have a bunch of rocks and they want to 3D print all those rocks and start to create walls and different structures with different shapes in real world, right? So we started talking about this in the community. We had like some members sharing very interesting stuff about how to do this with robotics and suggesting different workflows that we can follow. But I thought, it would be a cool experiment to try Raven, which if you're not familiar with Raven, it's one application that came out where you can use natural language to create Grasshopper scripts. So what I asked it to do, and to be honest, I was quite surprised. I didn't get like an end product, right? Not something that I can use for what actually my client was looking for. But I actually really liked how it started to work. And, I was a little bit hesitant of AI with Grasshopper, but it's true that when you start to see, how the plugin works, how Raven works, and start to put like different components together, it kind of make a lot of sense to me. Like at the end of the day, we're automating, and when with visual scripting is basically coding. It might be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's coding, and we're automating. So if you can automate, how do you create that logic? I think it's powerful, right? I think eventually it's gonna be quite good, and it's gonna increase at least my workflow if I manage to create like different snippets of code with something like Raven. So what I asked the plugin to do is I asked it to create a script with physics where I have like different solids, and I want to put all these solids inside of a boundary object, right? And you can see how it works here in this video. And what I actually like here is like you can actually see how it's starting to, you can put the different components in the canvas, and then you start to think, and then it changes, and then you start to connect them. I was able to create a script that was more or less working. I have to give the AI some instructions to fix this and that. I actually had to like rewire it, and I made it work, as you can see at the end. And it was a little bit like ChatGPT at the beginning, right? And other like Claude or Gemini, you were like giving them tasks with code, and they were good, but now they're getting much better. So I think that this something similar could happen. And if you understand what the logic that you want to create, I think for like snippets of code, it might actually be very useful for the future, right? I think soon we might be able to create part of our Grasshopper script much faster with this. Again, I think for now it's important to understand how this works, because you need to, if the plugin is not exactly doing what you're actually asking it to do, because it cannot do it, you might actually at least get something you can work on. So I think it was quite cool. And it clicked something in my mind, and I think I'm a little bit more positive on AI working with Grasshopper and Parametric Design.